Welcome to Cozy Conversations with Chris Cartel. Hit the like button, hit this subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you can be notified anytime we dispense or make available any new intellectual properties. Like, dislike, comment. Like I said, like it or dislike it, as long as you like it. I want to discuss or briefly have a conversation about a particular word that dominates the vocabulary of the hip-hop culture or quote-unquote black culture, if there is such a thing as black culture. And that is the word nigger or the word nigga. Now, most of us, I think it would be safe to say that most people that employ this word know the history or at least somewhat the origin of this word, or where this word originated from, or how it came on the scene and what it actually originally meant or how it was used. And that's how it was used, or how it's used by quote unquote white people. We consider it to be a act of disrespect, belittlement, or degradation, or act of dishonoring, and just an act of total disgrace whenever someone is using the word referring to another person, particularly white people referring to black people as niggas or niggers. Well, I'll say this, that we know that the definition to the word nigger is supposed to be that nigger is a ignorant person, and that could be anybody, no matter what the color is. But this word has been solely ascribed to or attributed to black people, or the descendants of slaves, per se. I think that most people, not most people, I won't say most people, but most black people, that if there is such a thing as a black person, I'm supposed to be black, but look at what color I am. I know. Anyway. But most black people that refer to one another as a nigger or nigger, if I was to refer to myself as a nigger, it would have to be an acronym, which would probably mean New Insights, God's Given Adam, N.I.G.G.A. Or nigger, New Insights, God's Given Everyone Righteous, or every righteous person. It would have to be an acronym, but I don't even subscribe to or promote the usage of referring to somebody as a nigger. I will say that I am guilty of having been a part of the use or so-called in terms of endearment when referring to other blacks or other people of color. But just think about the logic that is being applied by blacks who use the word nigger when referring to one another. They say it's they've made it a term of endearment, or they've made it where it's wrong for a white person to do it, but it's right or it's acceptable or it's a term of endearment for when a black person does it to a black person. That's just like saying, okay, if a white person commits a crime against a black person, we label it as racism, or we label a white person as racist. Or if a white person kills a black person, let's take George Floyd, for instance, or just any case where a white person has brutalized or attacked or offended a black person, we label them automatically as being racist, or we label that as being wrong and unjust. But when a black person does it, it's seen to be a term of endearment when we refer to one another as nigga. So if a black person kill a black person, we should accept that. But if a white person kills a black person, excuse me, that's unacceptable. It's not right. What kind of logic is this? This is the most absurd and the most illogical and asinine thought process that anyone or any people could ever be afflicted with. This is an affliction. This is some kind of mental, spiritual, emotional retardation. I mean, it shows that the level of trauma that black people have suffered from is so deep that we will take the affliction from, or the offense that someone has heaped upon us, or the wrong that someone has heaped upon us, and then take it and turn it around and use it against one another, and then say it's an act of love. Well, when the white man do it, or when a white person does it, it's not an act of love. But when a black person does it, it's an act of love. It's a term of endearment. So we should accept, we shouldn't say that black people, when a black person kills a black person, that's really not murder. We shouldn't really say that that's a crime because a black person is doing it. Well, when a white person does it, it's a crime. It's blatant racism. It's an act of racism. It's an act of oppression, and it's a reflection or a show of white supremacy. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. That means that something is mentally wrong. That the mental capacity or the mental condition of that person or those persons or those people is skewed. It's tainted, or it's retarded, or I can't find the right word to describe it, but it's so paradoxical that it's like saying if a woman is raped by a man, if it's a white man, it's wrong, but if it's a black man, it's right. Or it's like saying if I can stick my thumb up your butt because I'm black, but if somebody else stick, or a white man or a person of another race stick their thumb up your butt, it's sexual molestation. You know how asinine and how mentally disturbing that sounds to someone that's looking or observing the behaviors and the interactions and the engagements of black people. When we come up with these justifications for why we call each other nigger or nigger, how we say it means one thing when it really means another one. But again, like Black Lives Matter. Okay, Black Lives Matter. White lives matter too. But that's an offense when we say that white lives matter. Why? Do they not matter? But here's my thing, or here was my question, or let me just say this. A black life cannot matter any more than a white life can matter to a white person. Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me give you an example. If a person wants to commit suicide, no matter how much someone loves them or how much someone thinks that their life matters, okay, and how much of a value they are here on earth, if that person doesn't value their life more than someone else, it doesn't matter how much you value that person's life. If they don't value it, then there's nothing you can do. It's, for instance, people that commit suicide. I'm telling you, you can't stop a person from killing themselves. You can talk to them, you can beg them and plead with them, but if they want to end their life, they'll end their life. So what I'm saying is, to the person that's committing suicide, if they don't value their life as much as someone else values their life, then what someone else values doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is, if blacks don't value their lives, like they say Black Lives Matter, if black lives or black people don't value their life more than they value white lives, then how can you expect white people to value black lives? You must value okay, white lives matter, and white people value their lives. But a white person, and the same should apply for a black person. A white person is not going to value, nobody in their right mind is not going to value another person's life over their life. This is the reason why we have laws of self-defense. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we have self-defense laws. If someone is trying to take your life, you have every right to defend your life, even at the cost or the taking of another person's life. Because that shows and that proves how valuable your life is to you versus their life. If they're trying to take it, you don't just give it up. You don't just give it up. But some of us have, with the nonviolent movement, some of us have with this nonviolent philosophy. But a white life should not be more valuable to a black person than a black person's life, and vice versa. So if black people don't value their lives, and they're showing that the value that they hold on their lives is not high, so why should other people go out of their way to give more value to a black life or black lives when blacks don't even give that kind of value to their lives? And then we take offense when someone says black lives don't matter or white lives matter. But why? When we are showing the world, when blacks are showing the world how little they value other black lives. But back to the word nigger. Back to the word nigger. How is it that we can say that it's wrong for a black person, a white person, to use the word nigger, but not a white person? I mean, how can we say that it's wrong for a white person to use the word nigger, but not a black person, when the white person really has more rights and more of a claim on the word nigga than the black person. You say, well, how can that be so? What do you mean, man? You sound crazy saying that. That don't make no sense. Well, last time I checked, it was a white person that white people created the word nigga. And here it is now. Black people have accepted the word nigga that was created by white people for ignorant, dumb, stupid, lazy, shiftless black people, or invaluable or valueless black lives. That's one of the reasons why, that's one of the connections with the word nigga. It means that there's no value on the life of a black person. This is why it was ascribed to black people, because whites didn't value the lives of blacks. This is another reason for the introduction of the word nigga or nigger. It's because black lives didn't matter, so they attached that to black lives or black people. Yeah, the white person, they got more right to the word because they created the word. Then we're going to take the word and make it something acceptable, something worth engaging, or take it and make it a term of endearment. When has rape ever become love? When has murder ever become an act of mercy or giving life? When has taking life become an act of giving life? Oh, I'm gonna send you to your maker. I'm gonna give you a new life. I'm gonna send you away from here. Give you a new life somewhere else. But this mentality, this mindset, man, I mean, black people got to be, we got to be some dumb people. I mean, some really ignorant, small-minded, simple-minded, I mean, some real imbeciles, some real simpletons. I mean, this don't make no sense. I don't refer to black people as niggas. I don't refer to white people as niggas or niggers. Although there are a lot of ignorant people out here, Chinese, you got some Chinese niggas, some white niggas, some black niggas, some Hispanic niggas. You got all kind of niggers or niggas. You got all kind. They don't come with a skin complexion, but we know the history of it is a ascription to blacks or slaves or the ancestors or our ancestors or the progeny of slaves, that just blacks, period. So what's next? What's next? What are we going to take from white people that is so negative and try to turn it into something positive? Because if you think about it, and you think about this word nigga with all of the hate, the murder, the savagery, the brutality, the discriminations that were heaped upon black people just from this word, what it inspired, what it incited. This word is like it's a curse and a spell. Yes, the word nigga is a curse and a spell. Look at the hate, look at the savagery, look at the violence, the brutality that it incited and inspired amongst white people. So we're going to take that same word that inspired all this hate, all this murder, all this brutality, all of this discrimination, and make it something that's to be endeared, something that to be loved, something to show one another affections. It didn't work with white people. And it definitely has not worked with black people. When you look at the landscape of what's going on in quote unquote the black culture, or even the hip hop culture, or hip hop, people still referring to one another as niggas. And then you look at how blacks are committing violence against blacks. You look at how black men are committing violence against black women. You look at how black men are disrespecting and dishonoring black women, or women, period. But in particular, black women and black men. Look at how much honor and how much respect and how much love we have for one another. It seems to me that it's less honor, it's less respect, it's less love, it's less affection than the slave master and the Jim Crow characters and the Ku Klux Klan characters had. Yes, our treatment of one another is worse. I know people will disagree with this. And say, how can it be worse when you go into history and see how the slave masters treated blacks? Well, the reason why it's worse is because we're not treating each other with any greater respect or love. We're not giving each other any more honor than or any better treatment than whites gave blacks back then. That's how it's worse. We're not making any real efforts. Well, efforts have been made through civil rights movement, through all other kind of protests and demonstrations. But I'm talking about right here, right now, today. When you look at the landscape and the relationships that exist between black men and black women, black men and black children, black women and black men, black women and their children, it's worse than slave masters. It's worse than slave masters. It's worse. 10 times worse. Because now, whites don't have to do, really, they don't have to do the killings. They don't have to have the Sandra Bland's and the George Floyds and these Trayvon Martins and all these other cases that are popping up. It's a good thing that social media and cameras have come into existence to catch a lot of this stuff and to try to expose a lot of this stuff. But it's pointless when we're doing the same thing and at a faster and at a faster rate and with such ferocity that it appears to be almost primitive. It appears to be almost primitive. And then look at the disagreements that we have with one another and how people end up dead over disagreements. Take, well, I think they got that settled. You take Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps. Mike Epps made some jokes about Shannon Sharp and, I guess disrespecting him, saying that he was gay, lying on him. Then next thing you know, Shannon Sharp want to pull up on him and get physical. And then Mike Epps said, he ain't doing no fighting. It's going to be some bang bang. And then people saying Mike Epps is wrong. And they saying Shannon is wrong. People, we have taken on the helm of discrimination, the helm of brutality and savagery being afflicted and heaped upon one another out of the hands of white people. Or at least we have taken it out of the hands so much so that they can kind of relax and just let us do their bidding. You see? Because what they think we're doing, they don't have to do it. So it's easy. And they can enjoy the show. With that, I know that is maybe a different look as far as a different kind of conversation that we have, but that we've been having, or that I've had with you in the past. But it's a conversation. So again, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified, and let's have more of these conversations with Chris Cartel. More of these cozy conversations. With that, I'm out.